Hi guys, welcome to Farmer Fridays, where I get to interview agriculturists, ag organizations, and ag businesses across the state of West Virginia. My name is Elizabeth Lynch, your Miss Jefferson County 2022. Today I have the absolute pleasure of interviewing Tyler Rice from Pike Mountain Farms. How are you this morning?
Good, doing well. How about yourself?
Doing great. So again, thank
Good.
you so much for agreeing to do this interview with me. I know this is your busy season, so I really do appreciate you taking the time to talk to me this morning.
No, thank you.
All right, so I like to do a little bit of background, a little bit of research before I go ahead and ask anybody about interviewing with me. And there was a post on your Facebook page that I absolutely fell in love with. And it said, "We often ask, do you know where your food comes from? But let me take a moment to ask, do you know your farmer?" And on that same train of thought, let me get to know our farmer here. So tell me a little bit about yourself and your agricultural background.
Right. My name's Tyler Rice. We're in Preston County, West Virginia. I grew up just across the county line in Mon County, but half of my family lives up here in Preston County. So as far as agriculture background, my grandparents had a dairy farm when I was a kid. I didn't spend a lot of time there working per se. We were there, a lot, but later on they got out of the dairy business in the early 90s when I was still pretty young, and then just switched to like beef cattle and things, what they still do now. So that kind of piqued my interest in it for sure, just being around all the time. And tractors are cool and all that sort of stuff when you're a kid, especially. They're still cool now, but anyway, so that kind of did it, but it was no thought of like, well, I'll just do this for a living. That never crossed my mind at the time. Well, I'm sure it crossed my mind, but it just didn't seem like something that could be done because they were kind of, ever downsizing. Parts of the farm were getting sold off to housing developments, things like that, being so close to Morgantown and all. But so anyway, graduated, went to forestry school at WVU, was still like on the outskirts of ag through that. A lot of friends that were in ag stuff at WVU. And so it just was always in the back of my mind. And then we fast forward a little bit, when my wife and I, we got married and she was pregnant with our first son, we were kind of thinking, okay, well, we're not, we got to think about what we're eating and that sort of stuff. It was kind of hitting home more. So I started reading all these books and things about food and just all, what healthy food can do to our bodies, or what not healthy food can do, more importantly. So anyway, we started thinking about homesteading. So we started building a chicken coop and kind of taking it step by step that way. And I just went down this huge rabbit hole of the YouTube world and podcasts. And when I was driving to work, I was working in oil and gas at the time. It was just constant, like going to, like a graduate school of sustainable ag at the time. And it was just, so we started to get more and more interested. And we thought we started with, we'll take 1 year and we won't buy any meat from the grocery store. So we started finding farms that could, provide us with meat. And as I got to know that some of those farmers, and we tried to do as much we could with vegetables and things too, but we were mainly focused on meat. So fast forward that, we really got interested in it, and we're like, we can do this ourselves. So we started looking for a bigger piece of property, and we found a piece that was close to family. It was really only about 10 minutes from where we lived at the time. And it just sort of snowballed from there. 12 chickens turned into 1,200 and lots of pigs, and we're ever growing still. So, that's pretty much it. We can probably get into more of it as we go through the questions and stuff, but
That's really exciting. It's kind of cool to see that progression and hear that progression and how you got to where you are today. So tell me about Pike Mountain Farms now.
Yeah, so Pike Mountain Farm now, we're what we call a direct-to-consumer farm. So like probably 80% of our products are bought by the person who's going to eat it, or feed it to their family, feed whatever our eggs or our meat is what we do. And we have a small amount that goes to a few restaurants in Morgantown and things like that. But the majority of it is what's produced here. So we do eggs out on pasture, rotating them behind our sheep that we keep in the summertime. We don't breed sheep here, but we buy feeder lambs and graze them. And we're getting into doing feeder calves this year too, but we haven't got them on the farm yet. And then we do chickens for meat and eggs as well, like I just said. But so we do the egg chickens or the meat chickens, move them every morning. And we do the pigs. We rotate them through the woods and pasture here at the farm too. We have some rabbits too, but they don't really count as a farming enterprise. They're not very good at rabbits. We don't have very many. So
the last time we spoke, you also talked about some events that you host on your farm as well, like bluegrass music and things like that.
Right. We so right now we're like in the middle of planning for the Preston County Farm Crawl. And that's an event that we kind of kicked off with some friends of ours up in Terra Alta, Riffle Farms. They have a bison farm up there. And it's been, I think we're going on our 4th year now.
Wow.
I think this will be the 4th one. And it's just like 2 days. The first one was 1 day, but we decided to make it 2 days now. So it's just a 2-day open house for any farm that's in the county that wants to participate. And there's hundreds of farms in the county, but I think there's 8 this year that are doing it. And it's farms that are mostly in our shoes that are wanting to sell to the public because they want people to come to buy stuff basically. But we do that every year, and it just has tours, and we have some kids activities and things, and we'll have some bluegrass music. My wife and I met playing music. So that's near and dear to us still, even though we don't get to play as much with the farm and kids. So we kind of, do it here when we can. But yeah, we'll do that. And then in the fall, we usually do like just a music, like a concert, basically in the field. Really we call it Picking on the Pike. So yeah, that'll be coming up this fall.
I mean, you've got a beautiful facility to do that with too. So do you share that on your Facebook page as well?
Yeah. All the details for all that will be on Facebook as we nail them down.
Excellent. All right, so I'll have my viewers make sure that they check out your page for those events. Now, you have gone through the whole stage of agriculture from all the way to the beginning, starting out something small and then moving into a bigger type of production side. Now, what do you think is the most challenging thing that you've come across?
Oh, wow. So what I thought would be the challenging things haven't been the challenging things. What I thought would be the challenging things would be to well, we can produce this stuff that's became pretty clear, like, okay, if we have chickens and we feed them, they will grow and we can process them and have chicken. And we thought, man, how are we going to find people to buy this stuff? So that part actually has been easier than we thought. I mean, it's not easy by any stretch, but it's, you got to put yourself in the right place at the right time, and you got to be out and involved in the community. That's the big thing for us, just being part of it. But as far as challenging, I mean, it's just everybody that's in farming knows this. It's the 24/7 of it. It's somebody was like, "Where are you guys going on vacation?" So you're like, "Oh, I don't know what a vacation. I don't know what that is. Right. What do you mean a vacation?" So it's it's every day. We got to collect the eggs every day. We got to move the chickens every day. We move the sheep every 3 days. It's like every day.
Right.
That part of it can be a grind. Yeah.
It's a really noble profession, and you guys put in a ton of hard work in order to feed your community. So along that line, what do you think is the best thing about working in agriculture?
Well, for me personally, it's that thing of when somebody buys something from us at like a farmer's market or here at the farm, and they come back and they're like, "That's the best, whatever I've ever had. That's the best chicken I've ever ate, or that's the best, pork chop I've ever had." And they come back and they want another one. Like, so that, it's
going to make you feel good.
Yeah. It's like, okay, we're doing something right here. Not only are we treating the animals right, are we raising it in a way that we feel, is making it as healthy as possible. Mm-hmm. And it also tastes good. Like it's a win-win-win. So that part is great.
That's so exciting. I love that. Now, we are slowly moving out of a pandemic situation. Has COVID-19 affected you and your farm or your business at all?
Yeah, oh yeah, huge effect on us. So, and in our case is really has been a mostly positive effect for us.
Okay.
Now we're seeing some of the negative effects are hitting. But at the time we were really small. I was working full time off the farm, and during the pandemic, the demand for our products went up. I don't even know what percentage, but it went way up. So it was the perfect time for me to leave that full time work, and we could ramp the farm up. So that part of it, worked out really well for us.
Mhm.
It was just perfect timing. We were ready for it. We were probably going to wait 2 more years at that point, but it was like, we got to do it now. If we're going to do it, we'll figure it out. So it was that, but now there's the struggles of, things are harder to get. Feed prices keep going up. And I don't know if that's, we can all debate whether that's related to the pandemic or what, but that's what we're dealing with now is the prices, like everyone, fuel and everything. So.
And a lot of different farmers markets that I've talked to and small farmers have had this trend where COVID hit and people were, demanding those farm fresh products, and there was that increase in demand there. So how can we keep that trend going? How can our community help farms and farmers like yours moving forward?
I think a lot of it is just knowing that we're still there. We're still producing this food, and we sold more whole pigs that year than we ever had. People bought a whole pig or half pig, and we've seen that go down since then. And I really think a lot of people still have, half of that whole pig in their freezer. They're just like, I can't do that again. That's what I imagine anyway. But it's, knowing that there's very little that can't be produced locally. I mean, we can't, a lot of fruit and things like that we can't, but we're there and we're still producing it. And, even though there's stuff in the grocery stores most of the time now, we still have it too. And as the grocery store prices go up, ours are going to go up too. It just has to, or else we won't be here.
And one of the points that I always like to try to make is that you might be paying a little bit more at a farmer's market or on a local farm, but that most of that money is going directly back to the family that helped produce it. Whereas when you go to a grocery store, that money doesn't always touch the farmer as fast as it should or as much as it should. So that's something else that I'd like, my viewers to kind of keep in mind when they are out shopping local, that it goes right back to the farmer. And that's a huge part of things.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, people, we're able, that's why we're direct marketing. We couldn't do it on our scale if we were, taking things to the sale and, not being able to set our own prices. That's the big thing for us. If our feed goes up, we just raise our prices. We just have to do it. And we've always been okay with that. And we just, that's part of it. So, that's.
Yeah. So what's one thing that you think you would like your community to know about West Virginia agriculture?
Well, kind of like I just said, I mean, it's amazing what we can produce here. You can nearly have your whole diet come locally. I mean, we go to the farmers market in Morgantown every week, and it's a really strict producer only market that everybody who's there has grown what they're bringing and has grown it within 50 miles of Morgantown. And it's unbelievable what is there. Any vegetable you could imagine is there, and all the meat's there. It's just, it can be done.
Just encouraging people to come out to and shop locally as much as possible, because it is there. The product that they want is definitely out there for them to find.
Yeah.
Now, something that I love about your business is that you really put a huge emphasis on the family aspect of family farming. And I love that. What is something that you hope that your children take away from growing up on this farm?
The biggest thing is, so it's kind of, when we first started the farm, we had just, 12 chickens, and our some family came up from a few hours away, and she was like, why do they have all these pet chickens? The little girl was asking. She was about 8 or so at the time. And her mom was like, well, these chickens give them eggs and they don't have to go to the grocery store and get the eggs. And she was just like, wait, what? Like, are you kidding me? They don't buy eggs at the store? And it's like, no, you don't have to go to the store and buy these things. So a big part of it is that. I mean, there's a quote, I see it go around all the time. It's like, I think it's a Willie Nelson quote of all people. I mean, he's obviously involved in farming, but it's that, take your kids to a farm so they don't think food comes from a box.
Mm-hmm.
So, when my kids are at the farmer's market and they can, they know all the cuts of meat and things because they see them here, but then even like vegetables, even if they don't like them, they know what they are. They know that they were grown on a farm, that they don't just, come out of a bag at the grocery store. So that's a big part of it. And then just, like the reaping and sowing things, or the sowing reaping, so they can, see that if we work hard and we provide something that people need, then they will pay us for it, and we can have, do it. So that we will encourage the boys when they have the opportunity to, make little things. They'll take, like hickory nuts and drill little holes in them and make earrings and different things, and take those when we have markets if they can, and sell those things to encourage them to kind of, spur on their entrepreneurial spirit, things they might not be learning otherwise, that, you can, if you make something that somebody wants, then they will buy that from you. So that kind of thing.
That's amazing. And it's such a really cool experience and unique experience for your kids to have. So that's really exciting. Congratulations on having such a successful business and raising an amazing family. So that's really great.
Thank you.
Now, you started from the ground up. What advice would you give to a first generation farmer, or somebody who might want to jump into the business like you did?
Go really slow. To go really slow, and there will be chances to grow fast, and we've done that a few times. Sorry, make sure my phone's on silent. It's that. I mean, once you get going, it's hard to get started, but once you get started, you can you will want to grow faster and faster, and you can really. We've never, thankfully, outgrown what we can sell, but we've outgrown what we can handle, like production wise, and we've been like, okay, we got to do less pigs. For instance, we're doing more harm than good to our ground. Like, we're turning it into a moonscape in places, and we don't. That's the whole point, is to make everything better as we go along. So those kind of things, that for us, it's been a key thing to remember, and we had that advice from some friends early on too, and it's been a big help.
Good. So just take your time, dip your toes in a little bit, and then kind of move forward, slowly build.
Yeah.
Well,
and just do it. Like, you can plan, because I spent 3 years watching YouTube videos on this or that, and it's like, I don't think we're ready to get pigs here. Like, I don't know, I've never even touched a pig before. Like, what do we do? And then it's finally, you're just like, okay, we just got to do it. If it doesn't work, we'll we can sell them, and we'll be like, we're done with this. But you just gotta, you can't Google experience, as Joel Salatin says. So you gotta do it.
All right. Well, that's really great advice. My final question for you actually takes from my favorite speech by E.M. Tiffany. I don't know if you were involved in FFA growing up, but the FFA creed has always meant a lot to me. And the first line is, I believe in the future of agriculture. So why do you believe in the future of agriculture?
So the obvious answer for me for that is that everybody has to eat. What most people eat 3 times a day. So if there's no agriculture, there's no food. I mean, that we're moving towards lab meats and all that sort of thing, but we're not there yet, hopefully. So, and we'll stay around and make sure people have real meat for themselves anyway. But yeah, it's and I think too, there's a lot of things going forward that we can start making things better, and that's what I believe. Everybody's got to eat, and we can do it in a way, provide food for people that is treating the animals better, treating the land better, and treating our bodies better too.
Right. Well, excellent. So thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today and answering all my crazy questions. I know you're really busy, but I appreciate everything that you're doing for West Virginia agriculture.
All right. Yeah, thank you. It was my pleasure.
All right, guys, that concludes my Farmer Friday interview for today. Check out the Pike Mountain Farm Facebook page. I'll have a link underneath of this video. Check them out. They've got some really great things going on. Thank you for watching, and always remember to thank a farmer.